we have an incredible episode of Meet a Writer. And today I have yet another friend of mine joining me to the session. And we're going to talk about his work. We're going to talk about his own journey. And let's welcome him and not wait for a very long time. We have Jan. Woo! Hello, Jan.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Mhm.
Thank you for accepting the invite because I've been waiting to do this for a very long time. And we also postponed it once. So I'm very grateful for your understanding.
Of course.
Okay, I have lots of different questions for you. And
Mhm.
let's get into it first. So before we start, the very first question is, you're located in Norway, am I right?
That's correct. I'm south in Norway.
Oh,
It is.
okay. That's great. That's great. So, I wanted to know, how did you start writing and why did you start writing?
Mhm. Yeah, it's a small and big question at the same time. I have always been very fond of reading my whole life, since my grandparents have been teachers. They have, of course, imprinted it into my head. It's important to read, and and but when I got older, of course, as like every other guy, the reading wasn't the first priority, of course, but the writing was some kind of. Um, I had this injury at some point in my life, and it was my kind of uh, reminder and somehow answer to myself how I was feeling, and yeah, I guess it's happened out of the blue somehow. Yeah.
That's great. I feel like throughout our lives, lots of things are happening that are leading up to that moment of starting to write. Because,
Mhm.
to be honest, I don't even remember the exact moment where I started writing myself as well. So I
Yeah.
get what
Well,
you're saying, and
mm,
uh, that's awesome. And one of the first things that I really liked about your account, and I actually forgot to mention that your username is Poetry Tank, and I'm going to be linking your
mhm,
account later on in the YouTube channel. But one of the first things that I noticed and thought was very unique about your account is the fact that you're writing in two languages, meaning like you post the same piece
mm.
in two different languages. One is English, and the other is, I suppose, Norwegian. Correct me
It
if I'm wrong.
is. It
So, how
is.
did you
Mm,
come up with the idea of doing both? Like, my native language is Armenian, but I always felt like I had to just write in English. So, just
mm.
wanted to know how the idea came to you.
It's actually my it's actually my grandmother who was annoyed at one point when I started to write that I was not writing in English, and she was. It's a lot of Norwegians who may not necessarily can speak English, and she was upset that I as, um, didn't think about those as well. So she was a reminder, I guess. Mm.
Oh, so she was the one who said that you had to write in Norwegian as well, or the English part?
The Norwegian, because
Oh,
because she was annoyed that I wasn't thinking about the
yeah.
Norwegians so well. Yeah.
Yo, that's
Mm.
a great point because, see, that's one of the things that really, really attracted me in your account. Sadly enough, I don't know Norwegian, but it was really interesting to me the fact that you always took the pieces and then wrote it in both languages, which I think is double the work and is
Mhm.
also something that I admire and appreciate a lot. So, also, one of the things that I wanted to ask you, which was very, very interesting, I noticed that for some of the pieces, you have kind of shaped poems, which was
Mm.
very, very interesting. And I wanted to, like, this one. I know, oops, you can't see it anyway. Uh,
Mhm.
Ah, you can anyway. I'm sure you know that. So you have like shape like this or like this. So how do you kind of choose which one to shape that way? And also, how do you choose the shape, or is it just however you feel at that moment?
I think it's like when you are. I'm not sure if everybody is like me, but if you're talking in the phone and you have a
Yeah.
pen around, you just scribble something,
Yeah.
and it's the same when I write. Just it just happens, I guess. Yeah.
That's actually truly magical, because see, not everybody has that in their mind. Like when the phone thing, I have it whenever I talk to
Mhm.
someone who start
Mhm.
drawing, even though I have no talent in drawing. But with like writing, I wish I
Mhm.
could do that, but I couldn't imagine how, which was very, very interesting again. And is this like whatever you're writing in general, is this a hobby for you, or do you have like a future related plans with writing?
Well, I think it's. Uh, I have been writing one book, which I was selling at some local stores, and I magically enough sold all of them, and
Wow.
I was quite happy, and yeah, it's was quite a success, I guess. And but uh, I always write, but at the same time I've been in some kind of limbo, I guess, after I had an accident at some point in my life. I'm actually a carpenter, uh,
Wow.
and and I had this, I guess, epiphany at some time that I had to do something else because I'm not the Superman I was when I was in the early 20s, and so I'm actually back at school right now to go to the up to the university.
Wow, what are you studying, or if it's not a secret, of course?
No, it's not a secret. And when it's maybe a strange thing, but to go to university in Norway, you have to have specific amount of hours in all the subjects. And since
Oh,
I
okay.
was a carpenter back in the day, I didn't have all the hours, so I have to take some extra hours, and then I'm going to university. And if my grades, I hope, are good enough, I'm thinking about studying psychology, actually.
Oh, that's awesome. By the way, lots of luck to you with all of
Thank you.
that. And I
Mhm.
think it's never too late for learning. And also, like psychology, I feel like it's one of the main fields that is really, really closely related to writings,
Mm.
feelings, and like emotions. So, um, I I've been really, really interested in psychology as well.
Mm.
Even one of my previous managers, she was like, "Don't you want to do a master's in psychology?" I was like,
Mhm.
it's tempting, but I guess I might do it in writing. So, because I
Yeah,
like it more in psychology, but still, that's an incredible field. And I really, really think that it has a magical connection with writing as well. That's lots of
absolutely.
luck.
Thank you. Mhm.
And also, so I wanted to know, what do you want to achieve with your writings? What do you want people to, what's like the purpose that you're writing for now? Is it just to express yourself, or are you doing it for people, or is there another purpose that you're writing for?
Mm. Uh, Actually, in the beginning, it was for me. It was, but after a while, I did understand that I was hitting more and more people with what I was writing, and I've been talking with quite a lot of them, and I got quite a few stories, of course, and I feel like the writing had got more purpose now than in the beginning, and I hope I can help people, I guess. Yeah, and
Yeah.
myself all the way. Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I relate to that a lot,
Mm.
in so many different ways, but also like mostly helping people, because we feel like, I've in the past, like I've never thought that my writings could help anybody, but then they DM me saying like, thank you so much for
Mm.
understanding because I'm going through this and that, and you're like, wow, this is a really powerful way of connecting with so many people, and in a way like you're helping them without even understanding that you're helping them, which is, I think, the sweetest thing ever. And for those people who have never read your pieces, how
Mm.
would you describe your writing in 3 words?
Oh, that was a hard one.
I
Um,
know.
in 3 words, hopefully deep in some sense.
I agree.
Um, but at the same time, I hope it's uh, deep and easy, I guess, to understand. And I think I broken the 3 words. And the last, I'm not sure. Real, I guess, perhaps. Mm.
Yeah, that's
Deep,
true.
easy, real. Yeah, some. Yeah.
I feel those three in your writings, to be honest, because I relate to them a lot, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to interview you, because I really liked your writings, and for lots of different reasons. Because sometimes, like, I stylistically even connect the way we write, because sometimes you also have that style of just having one sentence, but that
Mm.
even if that sentence, that line is very short, there's lots of thinking around it, lots of emotion around it, which I really, really admire. And I have a few, like two of your pieces that I wanted to learn more about, if you're not
Mm.
against. So,
No, of course.
one of them that I really
Mm.
like is, I believe that perhaps the emptiness one sometimes feels is what creates space for new, beautiful emotions that are on the way.
Mm.
Can you tell us more about this one? Like, you can say anything that you want, whether you got inspired by what, or what do you feel like this means, and what do you want us to get about it? Like, anything that you want to share.
I um, as I was saying, I used to be a carpenter, and I'm very fond of doing something with my hands. And as I was telling, I was in an accident for actually over a decade ago. But my I went to the hospital and got home, and uh, when I got home, I was thinking, this is going to be okay. I'm just needing a little time, and I'm back. But that's not the story, and I'm still not doing what I used to, and
Mhm.
because my body got quite damaged. And after that, I was feeling very empty, um, but at the same time, I was growing. So, sounds maybe weird, but I think I did, and I believe that when thing gets hard and you feel empty, I guess you it's a new it opens doors, I guess, new
Yeah.
possibilities. Mm.
Yeah, that's very true. Hard moments in our lives teach us a lot. And even if
Mm.
it's hard at that moment, I always think like, okay, so this might be the best learning for me. And later on, I always
Mm.
try to connect it to the future. Like, let's say I become the most successful, I don't know, writer in the world. And then I have
Mm.
to have some story to tell, like, oh, I've been through so many difficulties. So
Mm.
I try to connect to that. I'm like, okay, hopefully this is my journey towards
Yeah.
becoming the person that I really want to become. And there's also
Mm.
another one that was really beautiful. It was like, I never forget that she was like deep water, which was very interesting. And I'm not going to ask you to tell us who this is about, but the reason why I really liked it was like because you compared somebody to deep water, and I was like, Okay, so we need more. What do you mean, like deep water? Is it because that person is really deep? Is it because like there's so many interesting things that we don't know about, which I usually think of when I think of water. It's like you don't know how much there is beneath, and lots of other things. So if you could tell us a little more about that,
Mm.
if you can.
Yeah, I think it's maybe a wise idea that I don't name drop, but she,
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm
yeah,
saying. You don't have to tell us.
yeah, but she I was writing about was, of course, a person with more layers than I was aware of. I
Mm,
guess the deep water was my way of, yeah, cope with that, I guess, and to understand myself and try to
mhm.
understand the woman I was talking about here. Yeah,
Yeah.
and she was more complex than I was aware of.
Mm.
So, but in very much good parts, of course. Mm,
It's a
mm,
very, very beautiful comparison. And that's mainly the reason why I asked you, because it's incredible. It gives you so many things to think about. And that's why I had
mm.
so many questions. I was like, okay, how
Yeah.
did you come up with that comparison? How did you compare that to being deep as a person, or whether it was
Mm.
like a sarcastic way and stuff? So it was
Yeah.
very, very so yeah. I so do you have a favorite piece of your own?
Um, yeah, yeah, maybe one, but I think that's because it's more related to my son than it's to myself.
Okay.
Uh, and that's I actually don't remember the whole piece, but it's something about that when you, even if you don't always remember, uh, you still keep on being a lighthouse for other people.
Mm,
Um, and it's important to remember that, I guess. And of course, when you have a kid, it's yeah, you see the potential and good piece parts they yeah
yeah.
bring to the table. Yeah. Mm,
That was a very, very sweet piece. I think I've read that one. I feel
mm,
like I have, because it was very familiar to me and I really liked it. And so I wanted you to kind of, sadly enough, I might just ask the last question, or maybe
mm,
two. But
mm,
like, I wanted to say that there's, if you talk to the people who, again, are writing or are interested in writing, lots of
mm,
them are always not like demotivated, but they're scared to do it
mm,
for many different reasons. But also, I feel like us as people who write a lot and are trying to overcome it more,
mm.
um, when it comes to writing. If you could just give any piece of advice to the people who are thinking of either starting their account or either just trying.
Sorry, I had a little technical issue here, but
Oops. Yeah, sorry.
um,
Do you need to repeat the question, or are you
no,
okay with that?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I think so, at least we find out. But
Yeah.
no, I think, of course, it's always people who have opinions about the writings and stuff. But I think people just should try. I was scared, like when I was. I'm not usually an Instagram guy. I can tell you that. But it's not that scary, and of course, people have their opinions, but after 3 weeks, you don't care anymore. I guess. Yeah,
Mm,
just do it
yeah.
if you want to. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a good one. It's just like trying to ignore everything else that makes you feel like you can't do it, and
Mm.
just go for it. Don't do it. Just do don't do it. Just do it, and then forget about the things that are stopping you from doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually a great one. Like simple but great.
Yeah.
And so, thank you very much for taking the time to get interviewed, even if you had a situation and you were in the car.
Yeah.
So,
It's one of those. Yeah.
but thank you so much for taking the time to do this. And I really hope that people check out your pieces because I'm sure they're going to find lots of different things that they connect to, just like I did. And I keep going on and checking your account all the time to see like new
Thank
pieces
you.
and to try to relate to those and stuff. And thank you very much for coming in and taking part in this. And I hope we'll get to kind of have another interview later on in another format. So I have to think of a new one.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. So am
Yeah.
I. So am I.
Yeah.